the clock that when Brad and Janet came into the castle and
the grandfather clock.
The grandfather clock. Mm-hmm. That was a real skeleton in that clock, and he'd been buried in that clock.
That's right.
His wife buried him in that clock.
That's correct.
Oh my God. All right, guys, time is fleeting, so let's get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring to the stream first. He is Brad Majors. It's Barry Bostwick.
Hello, how are you? I don't want to be first. I've never wanted to be first in my entire life.
Oh, well, I apologize, and thank you for joining us, Barry. How are you doing today?
I'm drinking tequila, and this is what we all should be doing right now.
Okay, well, all right. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, she is Magenta. It's Patricia Quinn.
Hi. I'm very sadly not drinking tequila. And it's the right time of night. I mean, it's 11 o'clock in England.
Oh, wow. All right, Barry, you're going to have to drink for all of us then.
I will, and I have.
Fantastic. Up next, she is Columbia. It's Nell Campbell.
Treasures. I'm on to my second bottle of champagne, and I'm loving every bit of it. And it's only 8:10 a.m. in Sydney, Australia.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, this is a party for sure. And we are about to round out the panel. He is, of course, Eddie. Ladies and gentlemen, Meatloaf.
Hey, Meatloaf!
You guys are rocking.
Yeah, you're rocking.
And I just got a question for you, Barry.
Yep.
What brand of tequila are you drinking?
This is yes. Right? What'd you say?
Patron Gold.
No, it's not that. That's too expensive. No, I drink the cheap stuff.
I fed you the line. I fed you the line. So you can say, yes, I am drinking the very expensive tequila, and no, you throw it back.
That's not who I am. No, you know that. You've known me for 45 years.
Yeah, really.
I'm cheap. I'm cheap.
So 46.
Actually, it's 46.
I wish you could be kinder to yourself, Barry.
Wait a minute. Meat.
It's
46 years?
Now, and I've known you.
The film came out a year after we made it.
I've known Barry for 48 years, and we're both.
Yeah, we have.
15.
Yeah.
Did you ever audition for Grease? Meat?
No, I was hired to do Grease. I was coming in. I was coming into Kaniki, and somebody stopped me on the street and said, "You don't want to do that. Come do the show. You can create a character." And I was a stupid actor, very young, and so I did that instead of Kaniki. I should have done Kaniki.
Yeah, I wish you had. That would have been amazing.
He's the kid. He sang the song "Grease Lightning."
Oh.
Except in the movie where
Travolta sang it in the movie.
Well, Travolta insisted he sang it in the movie. Yeah.
Oh, he did. Well, that's the best song in the play.
Yeah. He took it away from Jeff Conaway,
That's the way Richard O'Brien took science fiction away from Pat.
Yeah.
They throw their way up.
Who took science fiction away from Pat?
Richard.
Get out of town.
No, he did.
Oh, that's the question I'm not going to.
Well, let's hear the story, Pat.
Let's get started. Let them ask the question.
It's quite simplistic. It's quite simple. The character of the usherette was not going to appear in the film. And when I went to lunch with Jim Sharman and whoever, and Richard O'Brien to talk about making this film, and they said, and the only reason I did the play was to sing science fiction. Magenta was by the by. I mean, it's because that song. So I wanted to be the usherette, but they said the usherette wouldn't work filmically, which was fine. I said, well, that's great, but I don't want to do your film, so thank you, goodbye. And I was leaving lunch, and they said, no, come around, and we want to show you the sets, and we want to show you and show you and show you. And I went around to Brian Thompson's house, who lived around the corner, and they said, they showed me the pink laboratory. They showed me the wonderful dresses created by Sue Blaine, blah, 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 blah. I said, oh, I'm doing this. I didn't care about
they showed me wonderful dresses too, but I refused to wear them.
I know. It's shame.
No, but I did this. I told them they were making a mistake not having Eddie be Dr. Scott.
Yeah.
And they said no. And during the filming of the movie, Jim Sharman came up to me and said, "You were right." He said,
Really?
Because our Dr. Scott was wonderful.
Oh, he was.
We loved Jonathan.
That's not the point. Not that the actor couldn't do Dr. Scott. It changed the way the storyline.
Exactly.
Yeah, it twisted it around. It lost its.
I only thought Eddie doubled as Dr. Scott because they couldn't afford another actor.
Originally.
Well, the guy who did Dr. Scott should have been the narrator. That's what he was in London.
No. Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry.
He was.
Yes, he was
Eddie.
Dr. Scott, you're right.
Let's go. We're going on to the questions.
That's all right. No worries. This is your show. But all right, guys, I'm going to ask you guys a question or two. And we actually have
each other in about a year and a half. So, and then it's hard to talk because we're so busy.
All right. So the first question I'm going to ask you guys. So let's say when the world is back to normal, whenever that may be, if you guys had a spaceship castle, where would be the first place that you would like to go?
The Bahamas.
Ah.
Because it was closed for so long, and I want to go to the Bahamas. I live in Florida now, and I just want to go to the Bahamas. I don't know why.
You moved to Florida?
Yeah, I moved to Florida. I'm in a little town called Mount Dora, Florida.
Cool. And Nell is
Well, we can catch up later.
And Patricia's still in London, correct?
I'm in Sydney, Australia.
I know.
Still in
No, I said Nell was in Sydney and Patricia was still in London, correct?
Yeah. It's an international thing tonight.
No, if I could go anywhere, I'd want to go to Auckland, New Zealand.
Oh.
What for?
Because I love New Zealand.
And Richard O'Brien's there.
Is he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been there for some time.
Oh, well, it's a great place.
Does he still have the ranch or
Why did
farm?
you say that? Great for what?
I just love that. I just love Auckland.
It's so beautiful. It's got
I love there's 3 towns, Dublin, Auckland, and
what are those films that have been made there, like Harry Potter?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Sylvester McCoy, Doctor Who, he was in Lord of the Rings there. And he made out that it was like, so behind in time, Auckland.
Maybe that's why I like it.
yes.
There you go. Are you a Lord of the Rings fan, Meatloaf?
Yes, aren't you?
Of course.
There
Of
you
course
go.
I am.
You were animated like you were a Lord of the Rings fan.
No.
So we
I love it.
got Florida, we got Nashville, we got Sydney, and we got London. That's not bad.
It isn't. And one of the things that is great about being able to do these virtual Q&As is we can bring together people that maybe normally we couldn't get in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
But now, where would you go if you can travel anywhere in the world?
I think I'd go to Japan.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'd like to travel around Japan. I've been to Japan, but I'd love to go back.
There you
Why?
go.
There isn't one thing about the Japanese in Japan that doesn't interest me. They're a very curious nation.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. They're very
Curious. And you've got to remember they were a country that just isolated themselves against the world for a long time.
Well, did you watch the new Prime Minister take office? How formal that was? I mean, it was really formal. It was
Right.
like a queen almost.
I know. And if you watch when the Emperor came on, I did see that. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like kabuki at its highest.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody you meet, no matter height.
Yeah.
Hi.
And I'm called meatloaf. I'm called meatloaf in Japan.
Oh,
Meatloaf.
I'm called Leonel.
Again?
Well, I know it sounds a bit racist, so I don't mean to be, but they
You're not
call it
racist.
with an N.
Oh, stop it. That's not racist.
All right, Patricia, what about you?
Oh,
No, I haven't anywhere.
Little Nell. Little Nell. They thought it was a snail.
Cool.
What?
May I speak? I've just been asked a question.
oh, I guess. Okay. Can we have, let's have a
What I
conversation.
want to say is that I
What do you
actually
think,
go
Barry?
everywhere.
Go ahead.
India. You want to go to India?
I just was going to say that every year I go to India, and that's where I want to go again. But unfortunately, I will not be going there
Why not?
because
Have you read the
everyone
news?
is dying in India.
COVID is just out of
I'll give you
control
one guess,
there.
Barry. I'll give you one guess.
Yeah, because everybody's dying in India.
Yeah.
It's so tragic.
Incredibly.
Well, they're dying in the Bahamas too, but I'm still going.
They're dying in the Turks and Caicos Island, where my son is too.
Oh, they're not. It's not that bad.
They're dying everywhere in the world. Nowhere is forgotten.
It's not that bad, and they've made some mistakes.
All right, guys. So here's my.
So
next
let's talk about Trump, huh?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
Listen, I know him very well,
I know you do.
and I had a knockdown, drag out, go around with him. I thought we were going to actually.
Oh, were you in drag again?
What?
Were you in drag again?
No, it's a long story.
You and Trump in
He
drag?
got mad at me, and I said you're ridiculous, and went on. But let's not go to politics, please. They've taken it into the NFL and basketball. I'm sick of it.
All right. Well, let's swerve away from that. And I wanted to ask you. So obviously, Rocky Horror revolutionized the Shout Back interactive musical. So I want to know, what other films do you think would be fun to interact with and have a shadow cast?
Oh, Fight Club.
Yes.
Well, that's just because you were in it.
I know.
You were in it. You were brilliant in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But just imagine all those people at a Friday night getting up on stage and fighting each other.
Good
Good
Lord,
idea.
that's appalling. What a dreadful thought, Meatloaf. Oh my God.
You got to have a sense of humor. They're not going to do it. And
I went in London. Actually in Sydney. I went to the Sound of Music version where we interacted, and that was so much fun. And you guys have mentioned Grease earlier. Grease would be good too. I think almost any musical would work really well.
I actually went to a Grease interactive musical.
I bet it was great. Yeah.
Yes, it was fantastic.
I think any musical would work well as interactively, but they don't have our fluid sexuality.
Another great one would be Godfather.
Pardon?
Oh.
Oh,
Godfather.
You're a sick man. You're a very sick man.
I have a National Lampoon sense of humor.
Yes, you do. Thank God.
That's what we need in this time.
Yeah.
Barry, what do you think?
Wow. I would say it was probably, I did this movie years ago that Stanley Donen directed called Movie. And it was two movies in one. It was a very funny thing. And I would say that because the characters are over the top and very specific to the time period, and people would love it. But nobody saw the movie back then, so why would they see it now?
I saw.
Because you just told them about it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. You have movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very good, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen almost every movie you've been in.
Oh, God.
Are you a fan of Barry's?
Are you married? Are you married, Meat?
Yeah. My wife watches movies like, I can't tell you what we've been doing while we've been cooped up in this house.
Oh, please don't.
Movie after movie after movie after movie, and season every London series. I mean, every UK series, Sydney series. We've seen everything.
Have you seen This Country, the English series about the cousins living in the Cotswolds in Gloucestershire?
No,
It's
now that you told me,
terribly funny.
we're gonna find it. She likes dramas, so we watch dramas.
Any good
Everybody's talking at once.
Yeah, what recommendations would you have for us, Meatloaf, for a
Oh,
good
Luther.
series to binge watch?
Luther, the number one is Luther.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Luther too.
That actor's amazing.
Mm.
Awesome.
I like Succession.
I like that
Chris
too.
Nielsen was wonderful.
watching one
Three
now.
episodes about the serial killer of London. It's been on for 3 nights. It's been absolutely fantastic.
Starts with an S. A-S.
Sorry, I'm talking now.
I know, but I'm telling you what the name is because I just saw it.
Oh, Nielsen. Are you trying to spell Nielsen?
I can't spell, so I don't know.
All right. Why are you trying to spell it then?
Because I'm trying. If you don't give an effort, then you don't ever succeed.
That is
Nice
right.
advice.
Did you ever meet? Did you ever?
His name is Des Nielsen, and he's a serial killer who lived just down the road from me here in London. So I was very even more interested because he was a next door neighbor.
Oh,
That's
God,
good.
that's
But he
so
isn't my
Right.
boy.
Also, the other series is
He never
Sherlock
invited me.
with
no.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah,
Did-
Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah.
Oh,
Pat,
God, he's so good.
Pat.
that is brilliant, that series.
Yes.
Pat,
Absolutely brilliant.
Pat, did you ever meet this guy? Did you ever see him?
No, fortunately not.
Oh, thank God.
Thank
He
goodness.
worked at the Dole office, didn't he? Pat?
So he worked at not the Dole office. I mean, he didn't give out the Dole. He did work thing. You went to look for jobs with him.
Well,
Ken,
all right.
Right, that's right. It's where the Dole would send people to find a job. Job
Kid.
find.
Yes.
Kid. You've lost control, kid. You've
I
lost
Did
control.
you not answer questions from the people that paid?
Yes.
I hope
Yes.
so.
Absolutely. So we're going to bring up the first fan question, and this one comes from Brenda. What was the first reaction everyone had when they read the script for the first time?
what script?
Well, I guess
Joking. I'm not joking because in the play there was I hardly remember a script. The whole thing was written while working, a lot of it. And also the most extraordinary thing, it's actually in Jim Sharman's book, Blood and Tinsel, that I told you about, his autobiography, which is fantastic. And the chapter on Rocky Horror is so illuminating, it's brilliant. And he actually said to Richard O'Brien that he wanted a song and a dance for the 3 of us, Richard, Pat, and Nell, because we worked together at some point on the stage or whatever. And he said, I want a song. He said, but I want it with a dance. And he got this from a film that he'd seen, a French movie, and he tells you the whole story of that. And that night, Richard O'Brien went home and overnight wrote with his wife, Kimmy O'Brien, the time warp, and worked out all the steps and came in with it the next morning.
that's
When
amazing.
you had the time warp before the film, no, the time warp was in the play. At least the play I did.
Yeah, that's what Pat's talking about for the play.
Oh, okay.
When we were rehearsing the play, he went home one night and wrote it.
Anyway, the first time that I knew about the script, they gave us a script. I was hired for the play in LA, and they said tomorrow the lead Tim Curry's coming in, and we only knew our music up to that point, and he came in through the back door of the small theater in Hollywood wearing stockings and high heels with a garter belt, and I got up and left.
I know.
Really?
No, I ain't doing this.
Oh my God, you're so conservative and conventional, mate.
No, he wasn't. He was Sunset Boulevard. He'd never seen anything like that.
No, I'm from Dallas. I never saw it.
Texan, darling. That's why people are so scared of going to Texas.
Well, then they came and talked to me. Graham Jarvis, who played the narrator, and Brian Avnet came and talked to me and said, give it a chance. We'll give you the script. It's a comedy. And so I figured it out. And one of the biggest laughs ever is when I raised my leg wearing a garter belt with fishnet stockings and high heels in the play at the Roxy.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you wanted to do it on film.
Yes, I did.
I
And
know.
it even made Tim Curry laugh a couple of times on a Saturday night.
I bet it was.
Amazing. Now, what about you?
Wonderful sight.
Oh, well, Pat and I'm the same as Pat. There was barely any script. I wouldn't have given a hoot about the script. I was just so thrilled to have been asked to be in a musical. You know, I was there. I say yes to anything.
All right, fair.
Well, when you're a young actor, you say yes to everything.
Yeah.
I'm still saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
Don't blame her.
Everything.
I do say yes to everything. When you're young and then when you get older, always say yes to everything.
Yeah, and Art Carney, you know who Art Carney was from the Honeymooners? Well, Art Carney, I said to him, how do you decide if you take a script? He said, if I'm on the first page and the last page, I do it. I don't care if I'm not anywhere in the middle, but if I'm in the first and last, it's a go.
All right.
Okay.
Barry, what about you? What was your first reaction?
Well, I almost didn't do it because there wasn't enough sex in it.
Okay. Fair.
That was
All
it.
right.
What?
I'm glad we seduced you into the role.
No, I don't even remember reading it. I saw Tim do it and Meatloaf do it on stage, right?
Oh, you're one of those. How wonderful. So did Susan.
And I didn't really have to read it. I just loved it from the moment I saw it. So therefore, it was a done deal.
You and Elvis Presley.
All right, guys, here's the next question. And this one comes from Corkite Kev. If you could only ever sing one song again, what would that be? So I'm assuming this doesn't just relate to Rocky Horror. This could be any song?
Oh my goodness.
Oklahoma. Oh, what a beautiful morning.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Me.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
I've got a beautiful feeling.
Everything's going my way. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. There's a bright golden haze on the meadow. The corn is as high as an elephant's eye.
And it looks like it's climbing clear up to the sky.
Excuse me, Meatloaf, you recorded that, didn't you?
I did.
Virgin Records.
I have Richard Rogers'
And
autobiography.
you know the reason I know that? Because it was my husband's memorial service at St. James's Piccadilly.
And Marvin
was in London at the time playing Wembley. And I knew he was there and I knew he stayed at the Landmark Hotel. So I rang and I said, may I speak with Meatloaf, please? And they said, we don't have anyone listed under that. I said, oh, I'm sorry, Marvin A. Day. And they said, putting you through. And I said, I would like you to come to Robert's Memorial and sing, Oh, What a Beautiful Morning. And he said, I've just recorded that with Virgin and I'll send it over to you.
And Marvin Hamlish was playing piano.
Really?
Isn't that astonishing?
I've never heard that before.
I didn't get through with Marvin a Day because I've never used Marvin a Day as an alias. Back then, it would have been Fuzzy Thurston.
Oh,
It bloody wasn't.
all right. Was it? So, Patricia, what about you?
Well,
What song would you sing if you can only sing one song again?
I'll sing Bat Out of Hell.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a killer.
Classic.
You know, for a fact, there's only one other piece of music that's ever been done that ends in 3 high C's, and that was written by Wagner out of Germany in the 1800s.
3 high C's. Wow.
The last 3 notes of Bat Out of Hell are high C's.
That's amazing.
I'll never forget.
They did. Back when we recorded, they didn't have tuning. You sang the damn thing.
I met the Loaf at, we were rehearsing the music for the film, and this young Texan walked in, and I'd never met him. He'd played the show in Sunset Boulevard, but I'd never met him. And he walked in, and he said, "Hi, Hearn." And I thought, oh, goodness, who's that? And anyway, he was a Texan sort of person. Anyway, this person got up to sing, and we were rehearsing in a vacant hotel, and the hotel room had a chandelier, and Meatloaf sang Hot Patootie, And I almost fell off my chair in shock at this astonishing voice that came out of this young man. I was stunned. And I promise you, the chandelier shook. I'd only ever seen that in the movie with Mario Lanza. It's the truth. That voice was beyond belief.
It's still not bad.
I know.
It's not what it was in 73, but it's not bad.
Oh, it's okay.
Nell, what about you? What song would you sing?
I suppose if I'm going out at the time, as in dying, why not just give the Time Warp one last go? Because it's been a very significant song in my life, and one should just, go out with a bang.
All right.
And dancing.
And dancing.
Well,
If you're dead, wait a second. If you're dead, and they play the song at your funeral, get them to put strings on your hand and legs and do it.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of dying as opposed to once I'm dead.
I love it. I've seen they have done a design of the Time Warp for the COVID spacing. It's very clever.
Oh, that is very good. It's
Really?
just
Right, Barry, what song would you sing?
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when clouds are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Beautiful. Lovely.
And then I die.
No.
You took that beat after Sunshine. That's good. I like that.
Beautiful.
That's a good song. I mean, it's I don't know. That's been my song forever and ever.
All right, guys. Here's the next question, and this one comes from JB. What is the most interesting item that you've autographed?
I've got an answer.
Okay, now go for it.
A thigh.
Oh.
I autographed a thigh. A thigh is just
How high up the thigh? How high up the thigh?
baby. And of course,
I think I went higher.
And then a
I
couple
went
of
higher.
months later, that
Yeah.
thigh came back tattooed with my signature.
Yeah.
One's had a lot of those.
Yeah, but that was the most interesting item I've autographed.
What about you, Patricia?
No, I can't think. I mean, I've done things like thighs and things. An autograph book.
Oh, all right. Barry, what are you thinking?
Not many
Here?
people actually have those.
Yeah.
Some guy came up to me at a convention and he put his arm out like this. And he said, "Would you sign my arm? I'm going to tattoo it." So I thought, well, this guy, what is he doing? Why would he do that? I signed my name as large as I could do it on his arm, all the way down to his elbow.
And
he tattooed it on his arm and showed me later. From his shoulder to his elbow is my tattoo.
Your name.
Well, did you spell your name correctly?
I mean, saying my name. Yes, I did actually.
Okay,
And I think, well, if he's watching now, I'm so sorry. I should have done it smaller.
it's all right. Meatloaf, what are you thinking?
I can't sign skin. It gives me the shivers. But I did one time at a football player named Bruce Smith's golf tournament. And it was a thigh. And it was a girl's thigh. And it wasn't even the thigh.
Okie dokie.
Well, what was it if it wasn't a thigh?
It was way up high by the thigh.
Got it.
What hole were you at?
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, we're moving on. Next question.
Yes, next question. All right. And before we get to the next question.
You like that, Pat, right?
I just want to remind everybody. You guys can visit GalaxyCon.com to purchase one-on-one chats and also personalized autographs. All right, here's the next question. And this one comes, from I don't know who. What personality or celebrity in the world that you have met, so such as the Pope or Dalai Lama, that loved Rocky Horror Picture Show most surprised you? So who would you say is the most surprising fan that you've ever met?
Travolta.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
I bet he would have loved to play Frank.
Probably.
He would be great at Frank.
Yeah, he would have.
He would be a fabulous Frank.
Nell, does anyone stand out to you?
No.
Okay.
No, because we don't usually talk about it with famous folk.
Oh, that's Fight Club.
Oh.
What was the question?
Well, just a fan that admired your work that you were surprised was a fan. And it could be for anything, Meet. It could be for Fight Club.
Can you see it at the bottom of your screen, Patricia? There's a question at the bottom of your screen. Can you see it?
Well, yeah, what celebrity or personality in the world that you have met?
Thank you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh, and there goes Barry. Hopefully he'll be back with us momentarily. Does anyone stand out to you, Patricia?
No. I mean, there's been quite a few, but they haven't been personal to me. I don't really know. I can't remember.
Okay.
So.
No worries at all. All right. We're
Well,
going to
the
go.
other one, if you want to know the truth, the other one
Yes.
that talked to me about Rocky Horror was President Clinton.
Really?
What did he say?
He said, "You were in Rocky Horror," and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I've seen that." That's it.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and Princess Diana.
I've seen
Princess
that.
Diana
What
said,
are you talking? I can't hear you.
"Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you for completing my sexual education."
All right. And
What?
He was a
Wait,
fan.
who said that, Pat?
Diana, Princess Diana.
She said to you,
Charles
thank you for completing my sexual education.
wow.
Darling, that's a headline.
Yeah.
Well, she said to me, "I love your shows."
That's unbelievable. Wow, Princess Diana. All right. So we're going to go on to the next question, and hopefully we're going to get Barry back very soon. Here's the next one. This is from Alyssa, and this is for all of you. If you could play any character other than who you were cast as, who would it be and why?
Well, there's only one choice, Frankenfurter,
Yeah.
so I can wear the fishnet stockings.
There you go.
See, there you go. That's why you wanted Scott.
Yeah.
And I personally wouldn't wish to have played any other character.
I'm
Yeah,
having to
imagine
type.
you were Frankenfurter. I would have knocked you down.
I could
I would have bowled you over.
forever.
Nell, what about you?
Oh, I probably want to play Frankenfurter. You know, it'd be fun being a girl playing Frankenfurter. Definitely.
Definitely. Yes. For
Yeah,
sure.
Yes, the little lots of great
Yeah.
songs. You
They
know.
had a girl on TV playing Frankenfurter.
Yes,
That's
they did.
right.
Yeah. A few of us didn't like her.
I didn't see her, but I'm sure she was fabulous. Pat?
Okay.
It was
All right.
I'm sorry, it was a ghastly production. It wasn't her fault.
All right, fair. All right, guys. Here's the next question, and this is from Dana. What was your favorite scene to film? And this is for all of you.
Time Warp, my tap dancing moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. Pat?
I loved all of it, but of course, personally, I think the time warp on reflection is extraordinary because it's the filming of it is fantastic. So it's like a Busby Berkeley almost. So I think they filmed the dance fantastically.
Definitely. Meatloaf?
Well, obviously it was Hopatootie for me, and one of the main reasons is because Eddie could come and he could come full bore. He didn't have to worry about building and pulling back and going forward. You know, it was just
Yeah.
a 110% full on energy, and that was it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Most definitely. All right. Moving on to the next question. And this is from Adam the Rock. What was it like the very first time that you saw the movie? Meatloaf, what are you thinking?
I loved it. I loved it now.
Okay, I was doing the National Lampoon show, and we were in Philadelphia, and Jim Steinman, myself, and Ellen Foley We had an 8 o'clock show, but we wanted to go see the Rocky Horror because it opened on a Thursday, and we wanted to go see it. So we went. It was the 5 or 5:30 showing, and we were the only 3 people in the theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was early.
Sure.
Well, it was really early.
Yeah.
No, I
In
went
case
to
people don't know, Ellen Foley is the voice on Paradise by the Dashboard Light, and Jim and I did Battle to Hell together. So there you go.
Awesome. Patricia, what were you saying?
Nell and I went to the first night in London, and it wasn't in particular, it wasn't a special night. It wasn't a special occasion, but it was packed. And I sat next to you, Nell,
Yeah.
and I personally thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And we came out, and most of the audience who'd already seen the play, the show, all were saying, "Oh, the show was so much better." And I thought, what are they talking about? I found
Well, I can tell you why. I can tell you why. We've already gone through that. If you think about it for a while, you think about the changes they made to do the movie, what they shouldn't have. They should have left it the same as the play.
oh, rubbish.
Pat, which cinema did we go to?
It was in Leicester Square.
I thought it was in Leicester Square, at the Leicester Square Odeon. So it was. I don't know whatever it was.
It wasn't in particular.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought it was.
I came actually in the back of his van, and I was wearing. I'd been dressed as Clara Bow from Red Hair in this petticoat and whatever. So I went in that outfit, and I got the front page of the Evening Standard the next day, going into Rocky Horror, because I went
Fantastic.
slip and
Great! I'd love to see it.
and it wasn't I was in the back of a van, not a chauffeur-driven car.
Now, do you have any different recollections from when you first saw it, or?
No, my memory is sitting above me on the screen right now. I remember nothing.
All right,
What was
guys.
I wearing, Pat?
Sorry?
Do you remember what I was wearing?
Right, sorry, no.
You were in that. You were in that fabulous blue suit.
He wasn't there.
I probably was wearing my Lion Tamer skirt, which was a circus skirt that I wore all the time. Pat, you'll remember it. It was green silk with silver thread embroidery and tassels. It was I wore it all the time at that
That's
time.
right. I remember now. That is what you were wearing.
Oh,
That's right. Thank you so much.
confirmed. Thank you, Meatloaf. All right, here's
Okay, next
here's the
question.
next question. This is from Fawn. What has been your favorite project since or before Rocky Horror? Meatloaf, do you want to start us out?
Oh, good Lord. There's too many. I did a movie with Bill Macy and Laura Dern, written by Arthur Miller, and he was on the set, and I scared the hell out of me, but he liked what I did. And then Fight Club with Brad and Ed Norton, and I have a lot. And Rhodey,
Of course.
people and great acting, Michael Keaton. I have a lot. So it's and Battle to Hell and Bat 2 and whatever else.
Awesome. So, Barry, welcome back. This question has been, what is your favorite project since or before Rocky Horror?
Grease. When I did Grease originally on Broadway in 1971, I think, and I did Danny Zuko.
Yes, you were still doing it in 71.
What's that? I did
You were
71?
doing it in 71, yeah.
Yeah, it's they're making a book. They're asking everybody who was in a production of Grease anywhere in the world, road companies, Broadway productions, and Tom Moore, the director, and a few people involved in the original production are putting together this book. And they want us to tell stories. And they're getting thousands of stories about Grease and what it meant to them and how they did it and how they got the job. I can't remember a goddamn thing from 1971. I don't know what I'm going to say. Do you know anything I could say, Meat? You were around. We were together.
I know, because the only thing I do is I remember going backstage and telling them, listen, it's great that you offered me this, but I got to turn it down.
Yeah, I know.
Would you have been in the same production as Barry?
Yeah, I would have
Oh
been.
my God.
Good Lord.
Iconic.
Well, I didn't meet Barry then. I met him when he was doing a Broadway play called Robert Bridegroom.
Oh, that's right. But we used to audition together, you and I.
Oh yeah, and he pissed me off.
Why?
But meet
You
what?
were so damn
what was
good.
the role? I know you explained earlier what the role was you ditched it for, but I didn't understand. What was the role?
It was an off-Broadway show called Rainbow, and it was horrible.
Oh.
It was written by one of the brothers that wrote Hair, and his other brother talked me into doing it instead of doing Grease, which was stupid.
I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. So, Nell, what about you? Your favorite project since or before Rocky Horror?
Well, I loved being in Nine, the Broadway show that I did about 15 years ago, or maybe more.
You did
With
Nine.
Antonio Banderas.
Oh yeah, Raul wasn't in that, but Nine's great.
Yeah, that was great. And
I never saw that. What's his name?
The original was with Raul Julia on Broadway.
that's
Oh,
right.
wow. Okay.
And Cinta Rivera was also in it, and she was absolutely divine. And then her role was taken over by the famous sex kitten, Black.
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
She who was remarkable, a very different, kettle of fish. But Eartha Kitt in a black leather corset and high heels. She must have been at least 80. I'm telling you, a 20-year-old would have killed for her figure. Wow. She was sensational. Yeah. And she, as well as being sensational, was the most heavenly person in the world.
To go to the topic of the conversation, I got offered a part in the Andrews Sisters musical called Over Here. And I turned it to do Shakespeare in the Park. And who took the part was John Travolta.
I want to say something about that. When we were doing Grease, we as a cast, they asked if we would invest in it like a week before we opened. They had 1 point for like $10,000. Oh. None of us had any money, so we didn't invest in it.
No, you couldn't.
Here's my story.
Go for it.
The next show that Tom Moore, who directed that, did, and Ken Weissman and Maxine Fox was, what did you just say?
Over Here.
Over Here. I put a bunch of money in that and lost every damn cent.
Yes, you did. It's only because John Travolta took the parole.
No, it was because the Andrews sisters wouldn't go on the road, and they weren't getting along. They just hated each other, and they were doing this show, and they just hated each other, and so everybody lost their money.
And they couldn't get other people to play the Andrews sisters.
I guess not. It just wasn't worth the investment.
Wow.
But was there a point when the Andrews sisters were in it?
Oh yeah, they were the original leads, and that was what was interesting about it. And and John was very good in it. He wasn't as good as Meatloaf would have been, but
Oh, who knows?
All right. So Patricia, do you have an answer? What's been your favorite project since or before Rocky Horror?
There's been a lot. I actually did the Thrubney Opera on the stage. It was my first job out of drama school in the West End. And that was quite something to do. I really enjoyed it. It was wonderful.
Awesome. All right. So just letting you guys know, we have maybe time for a question or two left. So
just run the questions. We got anything to do? No. Okay, go.
Okay, listening to you. Here we go. Okay, this is from Iris. How was working with each other?
Well, can't you tell, by the way, we're working with each other now? We hate each other. We hated each other then. No.
It was great. I didn't do that much with Barry and Susan or Patricia, but I did a little bit with Nell, and that was great. She screamed Eddie and jumped on me, and that was fantastic. I didn't know, we didn't rehearse it that way, but she just did it when the take was going on. She did it on the take, which is great. I mean, that's what it should be. It should be in the moment and the truth. And that was her truth at that moment.
We hung out with you. We hung out with you a lot.
Yes, we did. We went to lunch several times.
Yeah.
And one time I wanted to go to lunch with you, and you yelled out the window, "Oh, the car's full, meat," and drove away.
Oh, no. Oh.
What?
Sorry?
It's very sad. I haven't gotten over that moment.
Apparently.
Who did that?
The car was full, and you were in the back seat at the back, on the left-hand side back window. And I screamed out, "Can I go?" And you screamed out the window, "No," and hung your head out the window. "No, meet, the car's full." And
But it was full.
it was, but it still broke my heart.
Oh, treasure.
Did
I'll
they
make it
use
up
it
to you.
at Ray Studios?
In my own special way.
I've gotten over it, dear.
Good. Patricia, what about for you? What was it like working with the rest of the cast?
It was wonderful, but the point being that it was a 5-week shoot, and you know, I mean,
Is that all it was?
it was
Yeah.
nothing but work. And I actually have a photograph. It's an amazing Mick Rock picture of me sound asleep on that slanty bit where they where your motorbike. And I'm lying full out, just, you know, the maid, just sound asleep. We were often asleep, weren't we?
Yeah.
On the
There was
set.
a great photo he took too of Richard O'Brien, where the throne on the I'm asleep, sitting in the throne, and Richard as riffraff is lying at my feet fast asleep.
Yes, wonderful.
Awesome. All right.
Can I tell you one thing real quick?
We hadn't time to, you know, and we didn't get to know Barry or Susan or anything. There was no getting to know you or being.
Oh, that's another good song, "Getting to Know You."
Yes.
Getting
Can
to
I-
know
There was
you.
no time.
Getting to
I just want to tell
know
this quick story.
all
It's
about you.
about the clock that when Brad and Janet came into the castle and
The grandfather clock.
the grandfather clock,
Mhm.
that was a real skeleton in that clock, and he'd been buried in that clock.
That's
His
right.
wife buried him in that clock.
That's
Oh.
correct.
That
Oh my
really-
gosh.
He was bought at auction.
Oh, wow. Okay. So we have time for one more quick question. This is the final question, guys.
Okay, can
And
we do two?
because you asked, yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here we go. This is from Alyssa. What advice do you have for anyone taking on your characters in a shadow cast?
You
Go
gotta
for
go
it.
for it. You give it everything you got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are we all agreeing?
that they do.
Make it
over,
your own.
And they give it 110%.
Make it your own.
Make
Go
it your
over.
own. Don't try and be specifically us. Be your own original version of that character.
Well, yeah.
Don't
create
do
your own
that.
character. Yeah.
No, I disagree. I think you
I
should be
disagree totally.
specifically us. I don't want them to be anything of their own. I want them to be just like me. I
Just
want
like you.
every nuance, every look, every taking off the glasses, everything.
Yeah, because it was perfection.
Yeah,
Awesome.
well, exactly. You can't better
And
that.
remember, you cannot be over the top.
Very
Oh,
fair.
well, I think you can. I think you can. And I think that's the problem with the show sometimes when they do it on stage is that everybody, they characterize it way too much. They don't take it serious enough. I mean, it's a
Well, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different ball game.
yeah.
But if you
But
really,
remember, they're having fun.
really
They're
doing
doing
the
it
play
for
and
fun
you're being,
night out.
if you're really doing the play and you're being in the character, you can't be over the top. Eddie's over the top. Dr. Scott's over the top.
Yeah.
Brad, when you took off your glasses in the film, that was over the top.
That was very real. That was very real.
All right.
Yes, it
So
was very real, but over the top.
all right. So because Meatloaf asked, this is going to be the final question. So here's the last one, and this is from Brad Matthews. When
hi,
filming,
Brad. I know Brad's a friend of mine.
oh, fantastic! All right. So when filming, did any of you
Yeah,
imagine
but-
that this would become the classic that it has?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
No.
Rubbish.
That's
You
true.
never
The
know.
And when it opened,
most amazing thing is they couldn't give this thing away. They couldn't do anything. And for 2 years, we heard nothing about it. And a young whiz kid at 20th Century Fox, a young kid, had the bright idea to put it on at midnight showings and show it in every campus in America.
well, he
That
started
was
in
so
New York, down
scary.
at the Waverly. He started it at the Waverly in New York City.
But that was how it was done 2 years later. Brilliant.